This will be for the con exercise, circumference of a circle. So they say the circle here has a circumference of 452.16, and they want us to find the radius. Okay, you want to use 3.14 for pi and enter your answer as a decimal. All right, so don't use the pi key on the calculator. You want to use 3.14 or it won't work. So there's two formulas for circumference. Okay, that we know that the circumference C is 2 times pi times r, or it also can equal pi times d. All right, since 2 times the radius is the diameter. Now, since we're looking for the radius, we don't need the pi times d, so we don't need that formula. So we're just using this formula right here. All right, we can plug in the circumference C is 452.16. So that's the circumference C. Plug it in for C. 452.16. And that equals 2 times pi. And pi is 3.14, rounded off. Again, you don't want to use the pi key. And that is times the radius, r. Okay, we're looking to solve for r. Since r is multiplied by these, the opposite of multiplying by these numbers is dividing by those numbers. So we're going to divide by 2 times 3.14. Okay, and you want to do the same thing to both sides. Divide by 2 times 3.14. Okay, on the right-hand side, 2 over 2 cancels. 3.14 over 3.14 cancels. And we want to do this on the calculator. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so in order to do this on the calculator, you have to use parentheses for the denominator. So I'm going to enter 452.16. Okay, 452.16. And I'm going to divide by this whole thing in parentheses. So I hit divide and then hit the parentheses. And I'm going to do 2 times 3.14. 2 times 3.14. And then close the parentheses. Okay, so this is the numerator, and it's divided by the denominator in parentheses. And you click equals, and you get 72. So this right here just equals 72. So that was for the radius. You just click in the box and enter 72. All right, so here they say the circumference of the circle is 3.14, and they want us to find the diameter of the circle. All right, again, use 3.14 for pi and enter your answer as a decimal. So we know the formulas for circumference. It's 2 times pi times r, or it's going to be pi times d, which is diameter. All right, since we're looking for diameter, we don't need that formula there. The circumference C they gave us is 3.14, so in place of C, I'm going to plug in 3.14. And that's going to equal pi. They said to use 3.14 for pi. And that's times the diameter d. All right, solving for d, you just divide both sides by 3.14. And it cancels on the right. And 3.14 divided by itself, just like any number divided by itself, is just 1. So the diameter equals 1. So you just enter that in the box. All right, here it says the radius of the circle is 8 units. They want us to find the circumference. All right, as always, we know that circumference is 2 times pi times r, or pi times diameter. Since we're working with the radius, we don't need the one with diameter. All right, so the circumference C is going to be 2 times pi, and again, you want to use 3.14 for pi. And the circumference, or the radius, is 8 units. So in place of r, that's going to be 8. Okay, and just multiply this on the calculator. And I get 50.24. So you just enter that in the box, 50.24. All right, one more. They want us to find the circumference of the following circle. Okay, once again, we know that circumference is 2 times pi times r, or pi times d. Okay, r is the radius, d is the diameter. Now, if you have a segment that starts at the center and goes to the circle itself, that's going to be the radius, r. Okay, but if you have a segment that goes through the center and it goes all the way from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle, that's going to be the diameter, d. All right, so in this case, we don't have the radius, r. We have the diameter, d. So we don't need 2 pi r. We're just going to use pi times d. All right, we use 3.14 for pi. So C is going to equal pi, which is 3.14, times the diameter d, which is 3 centimeters. Okay, using the calculator, 3.14 times 3, and I get 9.42 for the circumference. Okay, by the way, just a reminder, the circumference C is the distance. I'll do it in a different color. The circumference C is the distance around this circle. So circumference is basically the length of once around the circle. Anyhow, we get 9.42, so just enter that number in the box. 9.42, and they give you the units centimeters, so you don't need to enter the units.